Hi, we're back. Hi, Soul Family. Hold on 1 second. Hi, Soul Family. How we feeling? How we doing? It's your girl, Jaya Fire. We back with another soulful episode, Sweet Tea for the Soul. Okay, and if you don't know, now you know. All right, and today is a very special episode, okay, because we are paying contribute to Black men during Black History Month, okay? So that's very special. But what I want, because I don't really have a quote, right? But what I'm gonna say is Black men deserve love too. Okay, and then I gonna light this candle. And no, I don't have tea, but I do have chlorophyll, you know, that's just as healthy. You know what I'm saying? So today, I don't really know how to start off this video because number one, um, it's kind of a touchy topic, and I really just want to like put it out there without sounding like I'm going against women, because I love women. But I also have to big up the men at the same time because you guys do deserve your flowers. And then also, this is new for me because I've kind of had unhealthy relationships with men in the past. So, yeah, that's that. And then we also have I don't know if it's a beef, I don't know if it's something that's solely for the internet, podcast, whatever it is, but there's some type of man against woman competition. I'm not sure, I'm not a part of it type of thing. And that has to come out the window. So I want to be different and actually be like, hey, we need each other. We deserve each other. The woman is not the prize and the man is not the prize. We're both the prize. You know what I'm saying? So that's that part. But I think I'm going to start off with saying that since there is a competition, right, between men and women, because at the end of the day we're all humans, we all have our differences, right? And some things, as a woman, I can't stand that men do certain things, and as a man, well, they can't stand when women do certain things. So the differences kind of put us in like a competition, or like we're trying to go against each other. But life is all about differences, and that's how you create balance. Just like a battery or a magnet, you have the negative and the positive side. It's just creating a balance, yin yang. So I feel like that's why we should really come together, even though we have our differences. But that's what we were made for, to have our differences, and that's what makes the love and the community stronger, right? When I was younger, which I'm still young, but when I was younger and I was going through my issues, I didn't realize that at first. And I kind of seen men as like, you guys have no heart. It's blunt to say. It's blunt to say. And I'm not going to say all men. I've stopped saying all men and I keep saying some. I'm growing from that mentality because, yes, it's true. You have some men out there who really ain't okay? But at the same time, you have some women out there who really ain't and then you have the good guys and you have the good girls, you know? Growing up, I didn't really have a perfect example of a male figure in my life, and I'm not saying that my dad was like horrible, whatever the case may be. Like, he did the best that he could with what he knew at the time, but I didn't have a constant reminder of, okay, this is what real love is. This is what certain things that men do, this is normal, this is not normal. I didn't really have that close daughter and father bond growing up. So I kind of treated men in a certain mind space where it's like the certain things that my dad would tell me. Um, One of them was that like men only want you for your private parts. And I held on to that very strong. So it either made me really dislike men or it had made me have an unhealthy relationship with sex. I'm really trying not to curse or anything like that. But yeah. And it affected my relationship with men because I couldn't have a proper male friend growing up. And since I lacked boundaries, um, it kind of became into a thing where it just became like an unhealthy relationship, and I've carried that on until I've realized that, okay, if I really set my boundaries and really stand firm on what I believe in, like if I say we're friends and nothing is changing that, then I could really develop male friends that are for life. You know what I'm saying? Like they are the most caring people. And it really made me understand that, like, okay, in some cases, men, I don't like to say love hard, but men love runs deep. No matter what society says or what they try to put out there, men love runs so deep. And I think that's why they're more scared or more guarded towards love, because they know how deep it is. Like if a man truly loves you, he will stop the world for you, give up everything for you. With women, it's more trickier because we're so easily to, fall in love, that become more resilient to more things when it comes to love, because we fall in love more often, if that makes sense. So like if something happens to us, we'll just pick up our feet, whatever. We may become more independent, but that doesn't mean it's like totally gonna shun us off from love, because I'm speaking for like a lover girl's perspective. You know what I'm saying? As a man, since their feelings run really deep and it's already put in the society that like men can't have feelings, they're more often to be guarded towards stuff like love and emotions, and you know what I'm saying? But having male friends and having like a good starting to have like good male role models around me, you start to see that, like, okay, like you guys are human, you guys have feelings too. So I went from a mentality of like, man, he don't really care, he don't have no feelings, but at the end of the day, he does. Some men just are more guarded than others, and that's a fact. And another thing too is there are good men out there, and just like any good person, that's very hard to find, but they are out there. And once you find them, hold on to them, really and truly, because like I said, good people don't come easily, you know? And it's like a very big stereotype, or it's trying to be normalized, that like men don't have feelings. But when you really meet a man that has feelings, it's the most, and they actually like really care about you, it's the most heartwarming feeling, because it's like, okay, it doesn't happen often. you know so it's like when you get it, it's like, wow, it's a whole different world. It's warming, it makes you want to like do stuff for them. I don't know if that's just me, because I've also heard that a lot of men go through it. Let me slow down. A lot of men go through this thing with women where they would try to express themselves emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it is, and they end up getting backlash from the women, or it gets thrown in their face in an argument, or something just goes wrong. They try to manipulate that energy. I've never done that personally, so I was just like, that's a thing, you know what I'm saying? But me, on the other hand, I kind of appreciate a man opening up and being vulnerable, because I never had that growing up. So it's very much more appreciated when, like, my timeline right now, if a man does that to me right now in front of my face, I'm all ears. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more appreciative that, like, you chose me to open up to. out of everybody, or just like keeping it to yourself. Men keep a lot of stuff to themselves, and I just feel like you really shouldn't, you know? That goes for anybody. Like, you really shouldn't keep stuff to yourself, your thoughts, because it could spiral into other stuff. But at the same time, men don't really have much people to talk to, especially women. And that really has to be called out. And I feel like too, because we have such our differences, that like women tend to diss off men's problems. But I feel like as black women, we should be more open to that, because if you really listen to a man, all they want to do is talk. If you sit there and listen to a man, he will talk for hours, you know? And it's just for the simple fact of just getting shit off his chest. Oop, I cursed. But it's simple, like men just want to talk. And I've met a couple of men like that where just they talking. It could either be something emotional or just some random stuff. But men love talking. They love talking. Like sometimes they talk more than women. Like I realize that they love talking. But they can't really do that in certain spaces if they don't feel comfortable, right? So I feel like as black women, if you really care about a man and you want to show him that you care about him, that you love him, all you have to do is listen. It sounds simple, but some people don't know how to listen. Really and truly, that's all you have to do is, listen. At the end of the day, men are very simple. And not saying that like they're basic or they don't have standards, which we're gonna get into that next. But I'm just saying, like, you don't really have to do much to please a man, because 9 times out of 10, they were most likely unappreciated in the first place. So when you show them that they're actually appreciated, it means a lot to them. The simplest things matter. But speaking of standards, okay, I don't I don't know the history behind a man devaluing himself, but I feel like that really needs to stop. Some men don't really value themselves because, like I said, either relationship with women or what society tells you. For example, it's okay for a man to, mess with whoever and just be classified a dog, and automatically he can daps up and everything like that. Like he's the man for doing that. And when a woman does it, she's automatically classified as a hoe or a whore. But the middle ground for that one is the reason why women are called a hoe and a whore for sleeping with whoever is because they hold women up to a higher standard. You're supposed to be classy, da 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 da. By the way, be who you want to be. But that's the standard that they put on women. They're putting a devalue on men because since you're a man, you don't have to hold yourself up to that standard. Do what you want. But at the end of the day, that's not right. Like you're playing into the part of devaluing yourself. It goes for the same thing. If a woman is sleeping with whoever, da 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 da, and you're devaluing that, what does that make you? So I feel like men, you should look in. If you do that, I feel like you should look into the mirror, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna hold a woman to that standard, especially somebody that is not you, why don't you hold yourself to that standard? Like put value into yourself, have more confidence in yourself. Like, um some men sleep with a bunch of women out of insecurity to feel like they're appreciated in some way. But I feel like if men start to appreciate themselves more and, take care of their hygiene or watch who they sleep with and everything like that, then they will have more confidence in themselves and they wouldn't really have to do external things like sleep with a whole bunch of women to feel like they're the man. They could pick up themselves. I feel like that needs to be normalized. Like, normalize men taking care of themselves. Normalize men going to therapy. Normalize men being emotional. Like, normalize men for being a freaking human being. Like, y'all treat men like they supposed to be the most strongest people on this planet. And like they do the same thing for women, right? But I feel like with men it's kind of like a little harder on their side because men are more aggressive. You know, when you have that man to man beef, it's either death or jail or whatever the case may be. Women, we cat fight all the time. We have simple arguments or we just bittering over social media or whatever the case may be. With men, it's different. Like they actually facing death. How many beefs with girls actually come to death? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a different spectrum to stuff, even though we all have our stuff that we dealing with. But men, it's a little different. And I feel like we really just need to normalize men being human beings. Like, for real, for real. Especially from a woman. And I know that, like, it's harder for women with father issues. Trust me, I know. Like, I used to be so aggressive towards men, but I feel like we need to lighten up a bit and give them some ease. Now, that doesn't mean deal with whatever BS they got going on and belittle yourself. But if you have a man out here that really cares about you and you want to see him doing great, whether he's a friend, a father, grandfather, significant other, whatever, just make sure you're there for them mentally because you could be with a man, but at the end of the day, you know nothing about him. You don't know his demons. You know what I'm saying? And you could hear it in the rap songs nowadays. Like they literally just want somebody to talk to. They feel alone in their brains. You know, so if you know a man like that and he's been nothing but good to you, you already know what's up. Simple, 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 simple. It's it's tough, especially where this generation is going with the men against women. But I always been the peacemaker. Hey, hello, it's Jaya Fire. But we gotta create some peace, especially because it hurts to see that like it's mainly in the black community. I listen. I know it's Black History Month, but y'all know me. We gotta call out the people, okay? And y'all getting called out. It's mainly in the black community, and it's sad because all the stuff that we have been through since we talk about Black History Month, all the stuff that we have been through in the past years, from the time the colonizers tried to separate us, we're going to continue with this in 2024. The amount of times that it actually kind of worked, you're showing them exactly what they programmed us to do, fight against each other. When we're supposed to cultivate love and make black power, black love beautiful, you really gonna try to go against each other because we have differences, or you're going on past hurt and heartbreak when you need to heal and love yourself so you can actually be loved by somebody else and reciprocate that love? Because it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And I'm not on nobody's side because, listen, peacemaker, like I said, I in the middle. But let's get our stuff together, please. Okay? Because at the end of the day, when black people come together, it's the most beautiful thing. We've been going against each other because of the colonizers for how long? That's exactly how that works. That's exactly how that works. We're powerless if we keep doing this. We could go into that, but I ain't gonna go into that. We're gonna keep it positive. But like I said, basically, if you have a man in your life, whoever it is, make sure you're there for him mentally. Yeah, the sex could only go for how long? Cool. Good sex. Cool. The gifts could go for how long? The money could go for how long? The surface level stuff could go for how long, but how you treat somebody mentally, they will never forget that shit. Whether it's good or bad, they will never forget it. So just be there for the person. And I'm all for believing that, like, yeah, fill up somebody's cup, even if they, like, can't do it at the moment. But just make sure at the same time you're there for a man mentally, but you're not dragging yourself down and you're not being drained or sucked out. Because I've also had that happen to me before, where I've tried to be a hero and save a man, because I've seen from a young age, like, how mentally hurt men are. And seeing that and experiencing that firsthand with dating somebody, just be careful not to get drained out, because there's some energy vampires out there. And what I can say for that is really set them boundaries. And if after a while you guys are not pouring into each other's cup, then you leave the situation, okay? But yeah, that's exactly it. If you find yourself pouring your cup into somebody else's and you're drained out, you have no water left, and they're just taking that up and not giving you none back, leave after a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you might have 100 and the person might have 0. That's okay. You might have 50, the person might have 70. Whatever, that's okay, right? But just don't make sure it's to the point where that person always has 100 and you have 0, if you get my drift. But yeah, I think that covers it. Conclusion is, men are humans too. I think that really should have been the quote. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this reaches out to as much Black men as possible. I'm putting it out there because it's Black History Month. And even though it's Black History Month every single day, but this is when it's nationalized. But yeah, I just spreading the love, because I've had a very, I ain't gonna say had, I have a very special person in my life right now that has shown me that it is possible to give love and receive love in the most beautiful way possible when it comes to Black men and just understanding Black men and Black love. And so knowing that, feeling that, experiencing that, I get to come onto here and just be like, this is the tea for you guys. Black men deserve love too. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.